So why should we do this? We kind of talked about a little bit in the definition, but like Sophia, you are someone who grew up in a context and in a culture where consecration was more of a normal part of the vocabulary of your faith community. And so from both what you've experienced, but just even things you've learned, why is that something that is important for us to know as followers of Jesus?
I think today and in sometimes our church context, it is very easy to treat God casually. It's like he's just our friend, our buddy. Like we go to church on Sundays. Like it's just a very casual relationship. And in my experience, and just even looking at Scripture and how they viewed God, they did not view him very casually.
Yeah.
And when they did, it wasn't a good thing.
Yeah.
Not saying that God isn't our friend and Jesus doesn't love us and those things, but I do believe when we take time to have this momentary consecration, it allows us to fear God and to look at him as holy and not like us. Because Jesus came in the flesh and experienced our experiences, we can have this relation where it's like, wow, Jesus gets me and he knows me. And that's beautiful and so true. At the same time, God is not like us at all. And I think a lot of our sin cycles, our struggles, our idolatry, our issues come from thinking that God is like us. Wow. And so I think consecration allows us to step back and observe the holiness of God and to really understand how different he is than us and how that is an incredible thing that he is not like us. So
yeah, that's
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the way you worded that. And it's almost, I was reading a quote by someone, and it is reestablishing on the thrones of our lives who should be there, which is not us.
Yeah.
Which you're saying. It's like, hey, we get to a place where it's casual, and then next thing we know, we've slipped into the seat of the throne and not realizing it. And it's like, no, like that is not the case.
Yeah.
And this kind of jolts us out of that, and helps to recalibrate who God is.
Definitely.
Why consecration for you? Because I know from you personally, this is actually part of something that God has called you to. Just as a follower of Jesus, there's like a unique perspective. So why consecration?
Well, so I touched on that a little bit. I think, to some degree, God has called me to be uncommon and in a Christian inundated area, and so AKA Lynchburg is where we live. For lots of Christians, lots of churches, which are there's a lot of benefits to that. But I do think what's interesting is whenever you see throughout Scripture, a lot of times you see someone who comes and brings like a visitation from God, or has taken on a unique time of consecration. It's because comfort needs to get disrupted.
Yeah.
Like there is a beginning to be a wandering and drifting. And I even see in my own life, whenever I've begun to get apathetic or wander or drift, or really, again, it's not necessarily do deeply bad things. Like Satan doesn't have to make us evil. He just has to make us like somewhat distracted and busy and apathetic. And then it's like, cool, that's fine. Like I don't have to make we don't have to break the law. We have to be, just kind of content with how things are.
Yeah.
And you see whenever that happens, usually there's someone that's sent on behalf of God to be the person of like, hey, like let's wake up, let's shake things up. Yeah. And oftentimes that person is living a unique lifestyle, kind of uncommon, kind of in that consecration lifestyle. And I've just seen in my own life, whenever I've taken on these, and I've done a few different seasons of it or moments of it, where I've taken on a few different things that I've gone after in consecration. And every time I've done that, there's been like a unique encounter at the end. First of all, in the middle of it, it's been like, this is doing nothing. This is pointless. What am I doing? There's one season where like I just, and we can talk about this if we want more when we talk about practical stuff, but like I didn't cut my hair, and we can talk about that in a little bit if you want, but I was just like, I just look dumb. Like, what am I doing? But why am I, this is so pointless. But at the end of it, there's kind of like a 2-3 month period where it felt like nothing. And then each time there's like a unique visit from God or unique prayers answered. I was like, whoa, did not expect this.
Yeah.
And it's not a formula, but it is this, again, we are setting ourselves apart for and preparing ourselves for a unique visit.
Yeah.
And like you said, Sophia, like it's not just a casual visit, right? It's not like it's easy for us to get into that place where, you know, we're fine. Like nothing's that bad. We're okay. We're content. We can move forward with things. Or even if life's hard, it's like, all right, we can kind of just gut through it and even like numb it a little bit. And I think moments of consecration really like shake us out of that. And there really is nothing left other than like, well, if I don't get a visit from God, well, then I'm just kind of either hungry or I'm tired or I want that thing that I usually use to numb, or I want like, in that season, I wanted to cut my hair, and, you know, all those things. We're just like, well, now I just want that thing again. And then eventually God comes in. It's like, okay, I see what this was for. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Man, that's so good.
Really, to sum that all up, Darren Rousen says, he's a pastor in California, says consecration leads to visitation. And there's just, you can't find a moment in Scripture where someone took on a season of consecration and there wasn't then a moment of visitation at some point in their future. So
that's so good.